Hi, my name is Angel Brown, and I'll be your online STEM teacher. One of the things you're going to need for this class is an engineering journal. You are going to have to record your work by hand. The reason for this is that engineers come up with a lot of creative problem solving. In the process, they'll have new products, and oftentimes they'll seek a patent for those products, and you're going to need to prove that it's your work, when you did it, how you solved problems, what problems did you have, things like that. So you can't have a digital journal. You are going to need to do a hands-on journal. All right, first thing I'd like you to do is make sure you have a spiral notebook. The spiral notebook should be engineering and only for engineering. The reason for this is because you can't add in it, or it's obvious if you add it in pages. And you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that the patent company knows exactly when you did your work because, well, it's in your journal. So the first thing you're going to do is pages 1 and 2 are going to be your table of contents. Go ahead and draw a line down the left side. The first place is where we're going to be putting page numbers, and the second place is we're going to be writing what's on each page. Okay, if you notice, the table of contents is not numbered. But what I am going to have you do is after that, I am going to have you go ahead and number your pages. Again, it's much easier to find your work if you do this. For my kids in class, some of them numbered up to 50. And for you, if you're really good at numbering your pages or remembering to do that, then just number them as you go. Otherwise, I recommend that you go ahead and number a few pages. The first thing we're going to learn about is the 5 steps of the problem-solving process. So for page 1, we're going to put step 1, ID the problem. And then I want you to turn to page 1 and actually list that. Step 1, ID the problem. If you notice, I put the date that I did this on the paper. You don't want to put September 10th. You want to put the current date, today's date. When did you actually put this paperwork into your journal? And then you're going to have to go back to Google Classroom, and I'm going to have some paperwork that you need to download. This first one is going to be listing the 5 steps of the problem-solving process, which is also called the engineering process. What you want to do is you're going to tape it into your page, but if you notice, I went ahead and let it be open, so I'd like to use some of this paper. All right, the way you read this is step 1 is the first level of learning, and it says you need to be able to know the meaning of criteria and constraint, and that you can find a partner to write out most, if not all, the criteria. So you could either use a brother or sister, you could use your mom or dad, and maybe together you figure out what's everything your client wants. Okay, now here's the problem. We don't know what criteria and constraint is. So then what I had my students do, and this is what I'd like you to do as well, I'd like you to add in the vocabulary. Criteria is everything your client is asking you to do, where a constraint are all the limitations. So what are the things you can't do? Once you've written those in, go ahead and go back. So we're going to practice level 1, and then once we practice that, we'll see if you can then do level 2, which is, well, now you can explain the difference between criteria and constraint, and then you can write out most, if not all, the criteria and constraints on your own. By the time you've practiced it a little bit more, you should be able to identify all the criteria and constraints of a problem, and you should be able to use logical arguments to defend your answers. Now our goal after some practice is to get up to level 3. Level 4 means you're going above and beyond, and with this one it's actually using math and or science to defend why additional criteria should be addressed by your client. So you can see that we'll start out slow and we'll work our way up. Again, the goal is to get to a level 3. And if you get to a level 4, you're actually going above and beyond. So go ahead and stop the video and set up your own engineering journal. And keep in mind, you are going to have to take pictures of your journal to show me your work as we work in the class. Thank you.